Today I'm going to talk about the reasons behind my decisions to downsize from a traditional house to this tiny house that I live in now. I'm Craig, and if you're new to my channel, I make videos about building a sustainable homestead and about some of my tinker projects. I try to share details like where I source my materials and how much they cost in case you want to try it too. I also share my failures, so hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. In today's video, I just wanted to break down why I moved into this tiny house. For a lot of people in my life, it seemed like kind of an odd decision to downsize everything. I had a good paying job. I had a house that was relatively normal for most people in my area, and everything was going relatively well in my life. So why would I just uproot everything and move into a glorified shed? One of the main reasons is that while I was living in my other house, I was renting out rooms to other people. In fact, I typically had about 3 roommates living in my house with me. I got accustomed to living kind of out of my room and just sticking to myself because I liked my privacy. I also noticed there was a lot of space in my house that none of my roommates ever went. It was just a space that I was paying to heat and cool, and it just seemed like a waste. During the same time period, I was looking to reduce my food expenses and start eating a little bit healthier. Organic foods at the store, super pricey, so I started growing my own food in my backyard. It started with a simple square-foot garden in my backyard. But then I also wanted some protein sources. So I ended up getting chickens, rabbits, quail, and even turned my living room into a tilapia breeding operation. The more I did this stuff, the more I realized how much I love homesteading and how I wished I had more space. I didn't grow up learning a lot of farming practices, so I enrolled in the local Master Gardener program and completed a permaculture design certificate. This gave me the confidence and the knowledge to go out and buy my own homestead property. The homestead property I bought is 6 hours away from where I live, and it's pretty remote. So building a tiny house out there was gonna be a bit of a challenge. I ended up building it in my parents' backyard, which is much more convenient where my tools are at and where I had some help. This also allowed me to pay for the project as I went instead of having to save up and then take time off work. The downside was it took me 3.5 years to finish building the tiny house to drag out there to the property. So there was definitely some trade-offs there in the mix. That being said, I'm pretty happy with how it panned out because now everything is paid off in full and I'm completely debt-free on this property and on the tiny house. Eventually, I sold my original house basically to fund the new projects that would be happening on the homestead property. Downsizing from my traditional house to the tiny house eliminated that mortgage payment, which when you don't have a mortgage or any of the expenses associated with it, that frees up a lot of your capital and your time to do other things. That gave me a lot of free time that I've been able to use to learn new skills and techniques that I'm going to take out to the homestead. 2 examples of the things I've been studying are working with stones so I can use the granite resource that we have out there and generating our own electricity. If you saw my recent video, you'll know that we are connected to the grid. However, the main reason we connected to the grid was that down the road, we can use the net metering in our county to sell power back to the grid. This can essentially eliminate your electricity bill if you do it right. The traditional American dream of the bigger house with the white picket fence just wasn't doing it for me. But I love the idea of having a blank slate out there with my homestead where I can create my own food, create my own energy, and create the life that I really want to live. So that's the backstory on downsizing from a traditional house to the tiny house, and I'm really excited to showcase the journey of what I make happen out there. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more content like this.